Boeing 757 aircraft became popular around the 1990s, operating routes where demand was high, but not enough to fill the larger 767. This gave the aircraft greater flexibility when it came to the routes that it operated. ETOPS allowed airlines to operate the 757 on long, thin routes over the Atlantic to secondary destinations, conveniently eliminating the need to change at a hub. This model was a stretched fuselage version of the aircraft, known as the 757-300. Airlines wanting a larger aircraft could simply order the twin-aisle 767 without having to compromise on range, as was the case with the 757-300. Boeing produced 55 examples of this variant, which was generally favored by airlines operating high-demand routes to smaller airports. At its peak, Boeing was producing more than 100 examples of the versatile 757 a year. According to Boeing, this boom occurred in the early 1990s. A decade later, Boeing found that sales of the 757 were declining. The early 2000s represented an unstable time for the airline industry. It suffered a significant downturn following the 9/11 attacks in 2001, which meant that airlines were reluctant to take the financial risk of operating the 757. If they could not fill the aircraft, they were better off deploying smaller planes such as the Airbus A320 or Boeing 737. At this time, Continental Airlines swapped its 757-300 orders for the smaller 737-800. This caused Boeing to announce the end of 757 production. Boeing completed the final example in Renton, Washington, in October 2004. Delivery to its customer, Shanghai Airlines, took place over a year later, in November 2005. All in all, Boeing produced more than 1,000 757s between 1981 and 2004. Boeing also produced 80 examples of the 200's cargo-carrying variant. As previously established, the stretched 757-300 generated comparatively low sales, with just 55 examples being produced. Finally, Boeing also made a single 200 meters Combi aircraft for Royal Nepal Airlines. After the 757's production ended, fuel cost rose sharply on certain flights involving the type. This fueled the drive towards smaller aircraft from the 737 and Airbus A320 families, which are the second and third most produced commercial aircraft of all time. The number of active 757s has fallen over the years, rendering the type increasingly rare. American Airlines announced its plans to phase out its remaining 757s in March 2020. The sudden onset of the coronavirus crisis resulted in these aircraft all being placed into storage by the end of that month. These aircraft are among Delta's oldest, with an average age of 23.7 years old. It is a shame that the days are numbered for such an iconic aircraft as the Boeing 757. Moving forward, Boeing may find that a rebirth for the aircraft could be on the cards for its future portfolio. What was the 757, if not the predecessor to the current trend towards using single-aisle twinjets on long thin routes? This trend is perhaps best exemplified by Airbus's upcoming A321XLR. The aircraft is an extended-range version of its long-range A321XLR, which itself flies further than the original A321neo. It is being touted as a potentially game-changing aircraft, as it will tap into the trend towards narrowbodies on longer flights. Airbus and Boeing have historically reacted to each other's successes by producing competitors of their own. So how will Boeing challenge the A321XLR in the future? Using the 757 as a basis for producing such an aircraft seems a strong bet for several reasons. While production of the aircraft has ended, Boeing's know-how and tooling for the 757 remains. A rebirth would save the need for developing and certifying a new aircraft instead, which would be a time-consuming and expensive activity. It will certainly be interesting to see if Boeing takes this approach. I hope I have delivered some information and value. Please like and share this video. Also let me know any of your questions in the comment section below. I request you to subscribe to Airlines Press for more such airlines and aviation-related videos. Thanks for watching.